Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 2822 Sports Night. I'm going to be your host, Ricky Turner. Zach is on his way back from Williamsport, so just going to be me tonight. But yeah, let's start there. Williamsport, the Mid-Atlantic team suffering an unfortunate defeat last night to the Southeast team, and what was really a thrilling game. Mid-Atlantic got off to a 5-0 start, but after that, the Southeast team fought back, led by Kinley Rasmus. Great pitching performance, shutting out the Mid-Atlantic crew when she got into game. It went into extra innings. I think the game ended in bottom 7, where the Southeast team loaded the bases and ended up getting an RBI single to win the game. But yeah, Zach Grady was out there today looking at some of the action. I think Canada and North Korea was the big game that was played today. I think Canada ended up pulling that one off. But yeah, we're going to start there. Zach gave us a little recap of what happened yesterday. So we're going to toss to that interview. He was live in the 6 p.m. newscast. So if you hear him talking about Nick and Candace, yes, he was talking to Nick and Candace in that 5 p.m. newscast. But here's Zach Grady recapping the action from late last night in South Williamsport.
Hey, welcome back to 2822 News here at 6, and welcome as we hit the road once again, 2822 Sports. Who knows when we'll be back in the studio again as the second week of the Little League World Series is underway here in South Williamsport, and it is Elimination Day number 2 here at Lamity and Volunteer Stadium as we are down to 12 teams. Well, actually, after today's afternoon games, we are down to just 10 teams and 2 more games going on right now. Canada beating Asia Pacific at the moment 5-0 over at Volunteer Stadium, and behind me on Lamity Stadium will be the game between the Metro team and the Great Lakes later on this evening. But earlier this afternoon, Southeast, the team with Kinley Rasmus that is stealing the show here in South Williamsport, got another win and continued on here over the summer. Kinley Rasmus playing shortstop today for the Southeast after a stellar pitching performance last night for the Southeast over the Mid-Atlantic in the 6-5 comeback victory. We actually got a chance to catch up with Kinley Rasmus, and the Fear the Bow is streaming here throughout South Williamsport. We caught up with her last night after the win and after another big win this afternoon as well.
I'm just so grateful for this opportunity, and I couldn't be here without my teammates, and they've just been here this whole ride, and I'm just so grateful for them.
Her teammates picking her up today, as mentioned, in the 4-2 win earlier this afternoon on Lamity Stadium. Going on right now, we have the Great Lakes team and the Metro team on the diamond getting ready as first pitch is at 7 o'clock for the second game of the evening. Metro coming off of a loss 6-0 against the Midwest team 2 days ago. Got a chance to catch up with their manager as well, Justin Smith of the Bayonne Bees. He's letting us know that the team's not stressing about it, and they're going about business just one day at a time.
Take it one game at a time. No, we're not going to look towards the end. We got to just go win Tuesday, go win Wednesday, go win Thursday. And if you look at it's one game at a time, I think we'll be in a good spot. Can't tell the kids you have to go win 4 games. It's one game a day. That's what you got to go for.
Now, Smith added as well that one of the advantages that the team here from Bayonne has had is the home field advantage, as people from New Jersey have taken over central Pennsylvania. And just one more news of note here from South Williamsport today. Happy birthday to the Little League mascot as well, who is celebrating down on the hill behind me. We're going to have more tonight at 7 and 11 from South Williamsport, so don't go anywhere. Nick and Candace back after the break to wrap up 2822 News here at 6.
And yes, that was our sports director, Zach Grady, getting all the action today in Williamsport. And yeah, let's look at some of the scores that have happened today. Tokyo, Japan beating Tijuana, Mexico in an elimination game. Tokyo moving on now with a 3-1 victory. Another elimination game, Vancouver, Canada playing against Seoul, South Korea. Canada moving on there, South Korea heading home. And on the U.S. side of things, Tacoma, Washington losing to Phoenix City, Alabama earlier today as Phoenix City continues their run with a 4-2 victory against the team out west. And as he mentioned, Bayonne, New Jersey going up against Hamilton, Ohio in the Metro versus Midwest team. And Bayonne and Hamilton right now in a 0-0 scoreless tie heading into the bottom of the third. But yes, that team, the Metro team from New Jersey, always fun to watch. And we got the chance to sort of watch them against the Mid-Atlantic team. And, here's some of just the home crowd advantage that Zach was talking about. It was a pretty split crowd. And I'd honestly give the advantage to the team from Bayonne, New Jersey here as we look at some of these beautiful VO that I shot of some of the crowd action, some of the Metro, Mid-Atlantic that you'll see here in a second. But yes, those Bayonne versus everybody shirts, you saw those all around the ballpark in that black and orange jersey. And again, truly just a special thing to see. Over 28,000 people from both from the Mid-Atlantic and the Metro teams packing into Lamity Stadium as you see the We Own Bayonne box there. But ultimately, it was Bayonne, New Jersey beating the Mid-Atlantic team as the team from Westchester, PA, the East Side Little League team, unfortunately falling short. And New Jersey, in another elimination game today against Hamilton, Ohio, they fell to, I believe, they fell to who I believe was the team on, I believe they played on Sunday against Davenport, Iowa. That team has been a force to be reckoned with, beating New Jersey 6-0 on Sunday afternoon. And it was just one heck of a contest there. But overall, it's been a successful trip right now for that team from New Jersey. And we'll ultimately see how that game plays out on ESPN in tonight's elimination game matchup. And the winner of that, I'm not sure who exactly they will face, but I don't think they'd be playing tomorrow. Actually, they very well could be. The winner of that game could be playing off against Phoenix City, Alabama, which would make sense. The team from Iowa and the team from Nevada also facing off tomorrow at 3 p.m. on ESPN as well as the team from, I believe that is Curacao and Willems. Let me see. I don't want to mess that up for whatever country that may be. Willemstad. It is Curacao and Leon. I believe that is in Colombia, if I'm not mistaken. But no, I don't think it is in. I believe that is. Well, when there's someone named Leo Marchand, I don't think that really helps me right now. But we'll see. We'll see as I continue to pull this up. The Latin American group, Leon, Nicaragua. So we'll see how that group plays out. And then, of course, at 5 p.m., that game is at 1, Curacao against Nicaragua. And then you have Vancouver, Canada going up against Japan at 5 p.m. slate. And then, as I mentioned, Henderson, Nevada going up against Davenport, Iowa at the game at 3 p.m. And it looks like the winner of that game from Bayonne, New Jersey and Hamilton, Ohio will play and see if they could top Miss Kinley Rasmus, who has just been one of the tournament stud. And speaking of Kinley, how did she do today? As I look to pull up the stats here. But that's the beauty about being live is, you sort of have to pull those stats up on the go here. But she has just been an outstanding player. Connor Core got to be a part of that tournament, and she's just been an outstanding player. On Tuesday, the two-way player out of Phoenix City set a new girls record for tournament hits with 5 as their team pulled out a 4-2 victory against Soundview Little League in Tacoma, Washington. And the day before, Rasmus also tied Monet Davis's 2014 record for most strikeouts by a girl in the Little League World Series. Davis and Rasmus are among just 9 girls ever to pitch in the Little League World Series. But in total, 26 girls have played in the tournament since its first entry in 1947. So I mean, what can she do? She could pitch, she could hit. She's just been a real outstanding role model for girls in baseball, and with the recent girls baseball league starting up, we could see her in, I don't know, you know, 10 years, however long it would take, but. I mean, she's just been a really, really outstanding player. And for her to, put up the type of numbers that she puts up, it is really, again, a pleasure to watch her go out and do what she does. And, if I had Connor Core, I would ask him first person, but Connor's off until Thursday as we're prepping for the local football scene. But that sort of leads us into our next block. After this break, we'll be getting into an interview that I had a little bit earlier with Evan Krakey. Lakeland's all-time leading passer, Pennsylvania's all-time leading passer from 2001 to 2005 when his record was broken, but over 7,000 passing yards, 90 touchdowns, and also going into the Lackawanna Sports Hall of Fame, a big accomplishment for him as he is thrilled to be here and knowing how much football means to NEPA and Lakeland as a whole. Really great to see him as a fellow Lakeland Chief, the accomplishments he put up, the talent he has, and being a Division I athlete and going to the University of South Florida. I had a chance to catch up with him earlier today, but we'll get into that after the break as we continue here and take our first break on 28-22 Sports Night. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 28-22 Sports Night. I'm your host, Ricky Turner, and now we're gonna get back into back into the local scene. That happened because I was trying to move my mic a little closer and bump the enter button. So that enter button can be a menace sometimes whether it's flipping screens that are in preview to they're in preview for a reason, but the thing that we will be previewing in just a moment here, Evan Krakey, the Lakeland all-time leading passer, the Lackawanna League's second all-time leading passer, getting broken by Johnny Gilchrist in 2019, I believe. Evan Krakey, the University of South Florida product. We had a chance to catch up with him today. He's one of I think 11 or around 10 members being inducted into the Northeastern Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. So got a chance to catch up with him today about what it means to him and what it means for him as a football player and a person to be recognized for his achievements.
Okay. I guess first off, congratulations on the Lackawanna NEPA or Lackawanna Hall of Fame nomination.
Thank you.
But I guess first of all, what was that nomination process like, and what was your reaction to being nominated?
The nomination process I learned about 6 years ago. My brother-in-law's father is one of the members on the board there. I think he might be VP, but yeah, he brought me the application about 6 years ago. So he's been hounding me for that for about 6 years, and I never got it filled out, so I'll have to apologize to him. I apologize to him a bunch of times every time I see him. I guess he ran into my father, and my father reached out to Joby Fawcett, who my dad used to coach with back in the day, back at Lakeland in the 90s. And so my dad gathered up the stats and kind of from Joby, and then he submitted the application to Mr. Valonis. So,
got it.
Yeah, so if it was up to me, I probably still wouldn't have been nominated.
Well, first of all, coming from Lake, and you were always, the bar that you set, and going to a Division I college and setting the record for not only Lakeland but all of Pennsylvania in passing yards is a great accomplishment, especially in an era that really wasn't known for spreading the football around. So I guess that's my next question. Just the offense that you played in, how do you think that best played to your strong suit and allowed you to fling it around the yard and pass for as many yards as you did and throw for as many touchdowns as you did?
Yeah, so I guess I was like growing up, I always played running back, but then like by freshman year, I was like kind of tall and skinny, so running back probably wasn't going to be a good fit for me. But yeah, our coach brought me up as a freshman, and we kind of had a shootout at practice, like week 3, I think it was, to see who the starting quarterback would be. I won the position, but really, for that offense, I think it took a lot of the stars to align, really, with the team that we had. We had some great athletes, great receivers. I think that helped with the offense that we were able to run. Then, some of the coaches, Coach Joe Crotty was my quarterback coach at the time. He had a lot to do with play calling, design, and then Coach White Lavage as well. So I think, it was a number of things that brought that offense into play. There wasn't a lot of passing going on at the time, especially early 90s. I started, mid to late 90s is when I took over. But, there was a couple guys throwing the ball around, but not quite as much as we did with the success that we had.
Got it. And that was sort of, again, a altering, or I guess a changing of the era, because I think your record stood for around 4 years before it got broken again in 2005. But was it like, transporting back to that time period, I guess, was it like, did you know in that time period, did you know you were approaching the record, and, how did it feel sort of at that time and in that moment and the past that you broke the record, how to feel?
I really didn't have an idea until going into my senior year. I don't even know who brought it to my attention. Probably one of the reporters at the time. One of the newspapers kind of probably mentioned that, hey, I think I needed like 1,800 yards going into my senior year. So that's probably how I found out. Which it was exciting. I'm not big on the personal goals, but I'm more of a team guy. Enjoyed being with the team and having fun. That's kind of how I was brought up. But when it happened, that was amazing. It was kind of like a big weight lifted off of my shoulders, because I think it was actually week 10 of my senior year. And the week before, I think I only needed like 100 and some yards, and I ended up passing like for 140 yards or something. I didn't play the whole game. Ended up running for a couple of touchdowns. So, but it was nice to be able to come back home, and we broke the record. We broke the record at home against one of our biggest rivals in Dunmore at the time. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Lakeland Dunmore, big rivalry, expected to be another great match between those two this year. But what did it mean? Being a fellow Chief, football is obviously king in at Lakeland. It's anytime football season comes around, it's always all in on the Chiefs. What does it mean playing for such a football-rich school in terms of history, the players, the program itself, the coaches? What did it mean breaking the record at that particular school, in such a small community that rallies around that football team?
Yeah, well, ever since playing junior Chiefs football, playing midget football since like 3rd grade, our coaches always instilled like, hey, the teams of Lakeland Pass, hey, you guys are the future Chiefs. So my dad played, and he coached me, since like 3rd grade all the way up through high school. So him, and then we had Coach Kavanaugh, who's one of our high school coaches, who I've known since I was a little kid. Always instilled that Chief pride in us growing up. And, just, hearing those stories made you proud. You went to Lakeland, it was always a big deal, especially this time of year. And, just to be mentioned to some of those all-time great teams and great players it's an honor.
Got it. NEPA, obviously, again, a real storied area. So, what does football, I guess, mean to you? Obviously, again, you had success. You went to the University of South Florida, but what did the sport of football, I guess, mean to you? And, obviously your family and some of the memories and bonds that you created throughout your time at Lakeland.
It meant a lot growing up. Football was life. It was my favorite sport once I kind of got going and figured out knew what I was doing. I turned out to be pretty good at it. But my whole family played. My uncle played at Penn State back in the day. He was a Chief back in the early 80s, mid 80s. Like I said, my dad played. So I was always around it growing up. Sunday dinners at my grandfather's house, my grandparents' house. We have all the cousins out in the yard playing football, and my grandfather was still running routes at like 85 when I was in college. He was like 85 years old, so tell me what, like, throwing harder at him and this and that. And but yeah, it was just part of life growing up back then. So it was yeah, that's about it. It was really just part of our childhood, and then it kind of carried on into high school, and then into college. So I was fortunate enough to play.
Got it. And lastly, I guess, what is, again, getting into the Lackawanna League, Lackawanna, Sports Hall of Fame sort of mean to you? Growing, it's where you grew up, it's where you had your success, and now that success is really, culminated in such a prestigious honor.
Yeah, it really means a lot. Like I said, I was fortunate enough to have the teammates around me. And this is a great area for football, very football rich. So there's a lot of talent that has come out of this area. And just to be mentioned, with that elite group that came through here, and for the ones that are still coming through, it's very special to be noticed that way.
Got it. Well, Evan, first of all, thank you. And yeah, as a fellow Chief, your, again, accomplishments still holding true at Lakeland. Still hold the passing record there, second in the Lackawanna League all time in passing. And just to think you graduated in 01 and, your passing records are still up there.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Again, I can only imagine what some of in a more pass-happy era. But, you obviously, again, set a ton of records. But again, Evan, thank you. This will be used on our podcast or on our show tonight. So you can watch it there. And I think Zach will probably use some of this as well in the coming newscasts.
All right. Well, thanks, Ricky. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Yep, you're welcome. Have a great night.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was Mr. Evan Krejci talking a little bit about his accomplishments as a football player, getting into the Northeastern Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. He was one of around 10 members that will be honored at a ceremony on October 4th at 5 p.m. But some of the other members of this Hall of Fame group include Scranton Prep girls basketball coach Bob Baviglia, who you saw there, boys basketball coach Andrew Kettle, who you see right there. Elk Lake cross country coach Will Squire are among those to be inducted during the ceremony. As far as players, Abington Heights runner Katie Dammer, baseball, football, and basketball official Al Finnegan, Scranton Central golfer James Gordon, Lakeland quarterback Evan Krejci, who you saw there, the late Shirley McLaughlin, a field hockey and basketball official, Jack Ott of Riverside football, Dunmore basketball player Kaylee Semyon, and bowler and softball player Bruce Smolacone. So again, a really legendary class. And Evan Krejci, truly one of the Lakeland greats, arguably again the best Lakeland quarterback that's been around in terms of just his accomplishments. Over 7,000 yards. He was the small school player of the year during his time at Lakeland as well. And this guy just did that. We have this beautiful film here. You see those beautiful Lakeland Chiefs uniform, and here's some of his highlights. I think this was against Western Lane, if I'm not mistaken. There he goes. Krejci showing off the legs and scampering into the end zone for a touchdown. But he was just a phenomenal player. And, my friends and I were talking about it the other day. To go to Lakeland and get small school player of the year, this was a huge accomplishment, a beautiful throw there. And number 5, do not know his name, but he's a lot of highlights in this video. And there's Krejci again using the legs. And I think most of these, if not all these highlights, are from the 2001 season. But just right there, this guy just knew how to win. You'll probably see, I think Dunmore is later in these highlights. I think he entered the season needing around, 1,800 yards, he said, to go out and finally win, or to go out and break that record. And that's exactly what he did. A lot of, again, rushing highlights here. I think these are all Western Lane highlights. I know we have a few. We have one from Dunmore and I think one from Myers as well. But he mentioned he broke that record in the Dunmore game, and a huge accomplishment for him. I think the team eventually fell in the district semifinals, so an unfortunate loss for them. But Krejci put on a show there up at Chapman Lake Stadium. That stadium does not look like it's changed much. Being a Lakeland graduate, I've again recognized this field right there, the outer bowl right next to the stands, the home stands right there featured. But breaky right there getting warmed up. But man, yeah, I mean, playing soccer and growing up in Lakeland, football is king, and football is king all across NEPA. Lakeland will always be a football school. They have a really, really talented team this year as well. So we have to get to some more football after this break. We'll be talking a little bit about taking a trip to two more training camps from around the area, Wilkes-Barre area, and also Shamokin, as we take a trip out west to the District 4 and right here in Wilkes-Barre previewing the Wolfpack season as well. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll get to some preseason playbooks right after the break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 2822 Sports Night. And it's time to move on to some local football. We got the Shamokin Indians and the Wilkes-Barre area Wolfpack prepping for their home openers on Friday night, as football across NEPA is going to get going real soon, and they are two of the teams that you need to watch out for. Shamokin in District 4 ranked number 2 in our preseason top 10 poll. The Indians return Logan Steele, Noah Rengus in the running back room, and Liam Montgomery at inside linebacker. Graduated some pieces along their offensive and defensive lines, but overall, this is still a Shamokin team that is on the rise, and their ultimate goal at the end of the season, to win a state title. In the back mountains of coal country, there sits a football powerhouse, the Shamokin Indians.
It's 4 years in the making. The majority of them came up as freshmen, and we made a decision my first year to roll with those freshmen. I believe 5 or 6 of them may have started as freshmen. It's fun to see their growth over the course of the last 3 years.
The Indians are looking for 3, not points, but 3 straight District 4 titles.
We feel like we're mid-season ready. We have a very experienced group being led by 18 very talented seniors. If there was ever a year to truly be excited for Shamokin football, we feel like this is the year.
It all starts with number 4, though, on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. The Wake Forest commit is looking to top a season where he compiled 2,000 all-purpose yards and 40 total touchdowns, but he has just one goal on his mind.
Obviously, state championship's the goal. I want to break a couple of the things I did last year, like my interceptions and tackles, whatever, but I think state championship is the ultimate goal.
Alongside him in the backfield will be a different running back in Noah Rengus, but he brings that same Shamokin bruiser style.
That's always been me. I've always tried to be a bruiser, and I think my faith is a big part of that. I only fear the Lord, and I'm not scared to line up against whoever. I mean, I'll go after him.
On the defensive side of the ball, leading tackler Liam Montgomery will man the unit that allowed above 20 points just 4 times in 2025 and returns 8 starters.
That means a lot. It's a lot of guys that have been playing football for a really long time, past high school, Little Indians, junior high, all those guys coming together for one common goal, and we're just ready to get it, really.
Reporting for 2822 Sports, I'm Ricky Turner. Right there, also shout out Connor Core, editing that on the weekend. Always a big help. Just couldn't get that with all the Little League stuff going on last week. I think athlete of the week as well. But yeah, couldn't get to that. But shout out Connor. I had the chance to voice that, but ultimately Connor did a great job editing that, and I gave him a little checklist of the key pieces of that package that and how I wanted them to look. And he fulfilled my wishes. Did a great job with there. So I don't think I think I saw Connor Monday. I think I did thank him for that. But yeah, shout out to him. But yes, the Shamokin Indians, Logan Steele, Noah Rengus, their big loss, obviously Zaven Clinton at the running back room. But being at their practice and watching their purple and white scrimmage, I could tell you Noah Rengus still brings that same physicality that Zaven Clinton did. And they are going to be a fun team to watch this season. I cannot wait to get out to some Shamokin games. Their stadium's in a beautiful stadium. Can only imagine what that looks like at a purple or blackout, because it's just such a beautiful stadium. They have such a passionate fan base, and that team is so fun to watch. As you mentioned, it all starts with 4. Logan Steele, 2,000 all-purpose yards, 40 total touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. The guy knows how to play. He's a stud. He's one of the best players in the area. Going to Wake Forest as a safety, he's just a heck of a defeat. guy's just a stud. Guy's a baller, and you're going to see a lot of Logan Steele praise on this show this season. But moving back to our area and to 6A, the Wilkes-Barre area Wolfpack, they're going to have to replace the QB position. No Jake Howe. They lost some key players on the outside, but a new philosophy. And Ciro Cinti is going to be happy about this. Wants to run the football, and it all starts up front for the Wolfpack. The Wilkes-Barre area Wolfpack will be running with a new leader this year, senior Declan Greger.
It's been great learning from Jake. He was obviously a great quarterback, so I learned a ton of great things from him, and I'm super excited for the opportunity to start this year.
Greger sat behind Howe for 3 years, learning from the Lock Haven product, soaking in information, and strengthening the path.
The team voted him captain by a large margin, so it shows his leadership and what he's done and his commitment to this team.
One of those players is his fellow captain, senior offensive lineman Altamir Terry. Terry will not only have to protect a new QB, but also adjust to a new play style.
We're going to run the ball a lot, very aggressively this year. Run a couple people over, no more jukes, but a lot of hit sticks.
This is the type of football that Wilkes-Barre area head coach Ciro Cinti is excited to get back to playing.
We have bigger linemen this year. I think more mobile linemen than we had last year. You got to just adapt to what you have. This year's kids are a little bit bigger, and they've worked real hard in the weight room, and that's what we're going to rely on. You win up front, so this year we have to run the ball more.
The team has high expectations that the change in play style will yield big-time results.
Well, our expectations is just to win it all, go to states, prove ourselves again, better than what we did last year at states.
One group that will not see change is the defensive line. That group will need to anchor a defense that allowed 24 or more points 6 times last year.
I feel like we're going to have a better defensive line. All of our guys are coming back. A couple more people are stepping up. I just feel like we're going to do really great on defense.
For the seniors, though, no matter the result, they are just living in the moment.
Just a memorable season. I'm trying to have fun and also be competitive.
The Wolfpack looks to get revenge against Whitehall on Friday after a 38-14 loss last year. Reporting for 2822 Sports, I'm Ricky Turner. And yes, high expectations. The Wolfpack looking to go back-to-back there in 6A. But you have a tough Williamsport squad who we highlighted earlier. Scranton has a new head coach, and Jack Miles, Hazleton, they're on the rise there. Wyoming Valley West as well. So should be an interesting division there in 6A to see how that pans out. But we're going to take another break here on 2822 Sports Night, as next we've got coming up a little turmoil going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Riley Holsinger and Joe Drager will have the latest of what's going on in Steelers camp, with one rookie returning, one veteran looking for a new contract, as some things broke overnight about that. But that's going to come up in our next block here on 2822 Sports Night. Little quick. I think it was a little quick on that one. Yeah, 39. Yes, I was. It was 10 seconds. Yeah. That's on me. But yes, we're back here on 2822 Sports Night. I'm your host, Ricky Turner. And yeah, we're going to be moving to the Steel City across on the western portion of the state and talk some Pittsburgh Steelers football. And it's been an eventful start of the week for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some players coming off the PUP list, players that come off the PUP list, talking about other players' contract situations, a rookie getting back on the field after missing the first 2 weeks. We've got it all. And just to summarize I created a little montage of some of the things that Mike McCarthy, Jalen Ramsey, Maxie Honachur, and I think Michael Pittman talked a little bit about on Monday, ahead of the team's practice on Monday, and talking a little bit about some of the news, some of the injuries, some of the people returning here for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We're hoping that Max he's scheduled to practice today, and so is Jalen. We're going to bring him off a PUP today. We need to start faster, so that was one of the things I'd like to see, us coming out of this week. But yeah, no, I thought that our young guys are getting better. It's preseason football. We made some mistakes. Yeah, I haven't been part of any conversations where the 53 has been selected already. So anything, any position, any realm, and we definitely have ideas. Really want to see him go today. I know he's anxious to go, so I'll be watching him a lot through the individual. Yeah, so we got two padded practices, so it'll be a really good indication of how much he'll be able to play Thursday. You have to separate the business into football. Sometimes it's easier than others. This is a challenge, for both Joey and us, because we're first-year staff. We've seen him play. I've competed against Joey. I would love the opportunity to coach Joey Porter. I know our defensive guys would love the opportunity.
We're not there yet. They need to pay Joey. Some other guys in the secondary not out there yet, so can't answer that question correctly for you. I'm overly in Joey's corner. Joey needs to get compensated for being a valuable part of this secondary and a valuable part of this defense and team.
I'm a little bit frustrated, but just try to stay focused. Just try to focus and control what I can control and get back. They do a good job. I always try to just learn from them every day. I think they go about the little things, they do the little things right, and then they just come up here every day with great intensity to work. So just try to pick up little stuff from them every day.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but I feel like I played enough football that I'll be able to, just be ready to go when it's time.
Just make sure I know the plays, the assignments for everybody lining up on the field at the same time, because I may be in either position and, just go through the route in my head, what I would do. Just for him and Rome, Max Hurlman, all those guys have really stepped up, taking on 3-4 different positions at a time. So I tip my hat to them as much as they've got on their plate, just to continuously go out there and not, have as many MAs, learning 3-4 different positions.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, first game was great. We all moved the ball well. I think there was a lot of good things to take out of last game as well. Lessons learned. We all as a whole had to get better as an offense and make corrections, and that's what this time of year is for. So had a good start to the week today, and then we'll find out if I'm playing or not. I hadn't heard.
Right there, you see one of Zach Grady's favorite people, Mason Rudolph. Shout out Mason. Seemingly secured his spot on the backup with how those young guys performed in that preseason game in week 2. They're ahead of their week 3 game here against Buffalo. So there's not so much on the field controversy, but there's some off the field controversy with Joey Porter Jr.'s contract situations. Reportedly, he wants a max type deal that raises the raises the amount of money a cornerback is pays, or being the highest paid cornerback in the market. That's the word I'm looking for. That is what Joey Porter Jr. reportedly wants. Reportedly, the Steelers never offered him a contract. But with the latest on that news, here's our own Black and Gold Nation's Riley Holsinger with the update on the Pittsburgh Steelers star young cornerback.
The first 2 preseason games have been a little bit like a trailer of what we can expect from Patrick Graham's defense, but we're not going to see the whole movie until Joey Porter Jr. is locked up long term.
We need the whole secondary out there. They got to pay Joey Porter.
The cornerback market has skyrocketed, with a handful of elite players earning contracts worth more than $30 million per year. Porter has been on the physically unable to perform list as he enters the final year of his rookie deal.
This is a challenge, for both Joey and us, because we're first-year staff. We've seen him play. I've competed against Joey. I would love the opportunity to coach Joey Porter. I know our defensive guys would love the opportunity. So, we're at an impasse right here, and you got to respect that.
While JPJ waits for an extension, his teammates say that he hasn't been a distraction.
Joey's a good player. Joey's a good person on and off the field. You see him, man. He's not even himself not even a distraction. We do day-to-day business and stuff like that, and obviously we know when it's time to ramp it up, Joey will be there.
And right now, Joey's teammates are there in his corner.
I'm overly in Joey's corner. Joey needs to get compensated for being a valuable part of this secondary and a valuable part of this defense and team.
I've always been, when teams and players is in negotiation, I kind of just stay out of it and just, look at that player and be like, man, I hope you get exactly what you value for.
The Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Buffalo Bills this Thursday at 7 p.m. Reporting from Pittsburgh for Black and Gold Nation, I'm Riley Holsinger.
There's Riley Holsinger, always doing a great job there in Altoona, but covering the Pittsburgh Steelers a couple hours away. I don't think people realize they have to travel in for that. So a little early morning drive there for Riley and the crew. But yes, Black and Gold Nation doing a great job as always, but this is the toughest part of the business because I love Joey Porter Jr. I think he's a great player. He deserves his money. Now, if he reportedly does want the most money and reset the cornerback market, that's where I draw the line because I view him as a top 10 cornerback. I don't view him as a top 5 in that Christian Gonzalez, that Derek Stingley realm. I don't view him there. Devon Witherspoon, I don't think he does enough things, but if you were to draw up what a cornerback was good at, like, I want that. And that's exactly what Joey Porter Jr. is. Long arm, could run, physical, improved his tackling. He's improved every year, in my opinion, since year one. He's 14 pass breakups, 1 interception. The thing that I think is going to get him is the lack of versatility and also the lack of interceptions. Only has 3 in his NFL career. He has a ton of pass breakups this past season, had 14 of those, but ultimately teams view those turnover-changing cornerbacks a lot more than they do just a shutdown cornerback, which I disagree with, and I also think the Pittsburgh Steelers are a little bit hesitant in their logic as well. I think they value pass rushers more, as we've seen them pay and have historically great pass rushers. T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Kevin Green, James Harrison, those guys who are absolute game changers on the outside. Nick Herbig, who they think is the next great Steelers pass rusher. But ultimately, we'll see what happens there. But now you have a rookie getting into the thick of it. Maxi Honachor, the Steelers' first-round pick, going into a battle. Could he win it, even though he hasn't played the first preseason game? Well, Joe Drager has the latest there.
This week, Steelers offensive tackle Maxi Honachor returned to practice with the team easing him back into things.
Start with today, just coming out to practice. I was just sorry about that. And then tomorrow again, just focus on that until the end of
the first-round pick out of Arizona State was sidelined during the last 2 weeks of training camp with an upper body injury, leaving him upset not getting back to the field sooner.
I'm a little bit frustrated, but just try to stay focused. Just try to focus and control what I can control and get back.
The injury didn't stop him from being a sponge around his teammates.
He's always asking the right questions, and he's hungry. And obviously him being back out here is good for him and good for us because it obviously elevates the room because he's a baller. He sets the tone.
I always try to just learn from him every day. I think they go about the little things, they do the little things right, and then they just come up here every day with great intensity to work. So just try to pick up little stuff from them every day.
The coaching staff is adding him back into drills, but are being careful on their approach.
He's definitely progressing. I mean, we'd all love to see him play Thursday nights, and then hopefully we take a big step today towards that.
Honachor plans to make his black and gold debut on Thursday against the Buffalo Bills. Reporting in Pittsburgh's South Side for Black and Gold Nation, I'm John Drager.
Shout out John Drager. I think I said Joe. My bad. John Drager, Riley Holsinger, both doing great work. But when we come back, we're going to talk about some Penn State. We're going to talk about the news that broke today in both the Big Ten and SEC. The Big Ten banning NFL players that competed on a roster from returning to school, and the SEC passing the rule to stop NFL, NBA, and WNBA players from returning to college as well. So we'll discuss Penn State and more when we return here on 28-22 Sports Night. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this last segment of 28-22 Sports Night. I'm your host here, Ricky Turner, and yeah, we're going to be getting into some Penn State news. Ali Berube talking a little bit about the defensive side of the ball and what the Nittany Lions are looking to do there and look to improve off of a down year in terms of Penn State defense. Typically, you think of linebacker WYOU, some of the great defensive players that have come out of Penn State. They're looking to get back to that under new head coach Matt Campbell.
This week, Steelers offensive tackle Maxi Honachor returned to practice with the team easing him back into things.
Penn State's defense uncharacteristically struggled in 2025 under then defensive coordinator Jim Knowles, who was on to Tennessee. Replacing him on Matt Campbell's staff, Danton Lynn, a letterman who played cornerback quarterback for the Nittany Lions from 2008 to 2011. He's tasked with returning this Penn State defense to its proud tradition of greatness, starting up front with the defensive line, which has a mix of young returning players from the Penn State roster that showed some promise in 2025, plus a cast of transfers.
I love them young guys. From how we first started to now, there's a tremendous growth amongst the time period that we have. I don't tell them a lot, but I said if I had one more year, I'd do it again because this group is very special, you know. Seeing that they bought in with the schemes and beliefs that we think is best fit the defense, you know, I'm pretty excited.
The unit led by that guy, UCLA transfer Siali Taupaki, who is playing his 8th and final season of college football.
The unity part of it, you know, I think he's a big part of it. But his whole goal is to make sure he can pass down as much knowledge as possible while he's still here. And then, you know, our real motto is the best will play. So if somebody's good enough to beat him, then it is what it is. So, but that's how he is. He'll give everything he got and then still try to prove his worth.
Of course, another key returner on this defense on the coaching staff side, interim head coach from last season, Terry Smith, still working with the cornerbacks and setting the tone for the entire unit. But for now, reporting on the Penn State campus for Nittany Nation, I'm Allie Berube.
As always, Allie Berube doing a great job there. Nittany Lions, I think just a week, 10 days away, week and a half away from the start of Nittany Lions season. And the Big Ten and SEC, the Big Two, finally voting to ban players who have signed an NFL contract or appeared on an NFL roster from appearing back at a Big Ten school. Finally, someone had the gall to stand up, the balls to stand up to them. Like the SEC also recently passed, just about an hour ago, passed a ruling to stop NFL, NBA, WNBA players from returning to school as well. Like this is just ridiculous. Like this legitimately, you know, got out of control. And I'm glad both conferences at least like unanimously voted an 18-0 vote in the Big Ten, in the Big Ten vote to protect fair roster limits. They, again, don't unanimously agree on everything, but this was something that was just becoming ridiculous. I get it, you know, players wanting to, you know, improve their draft stock. But again, if you want to improve your draft stock, like you can't say, oh, you know, sometimes, man, just sports ain't for you. Like sometimes there's no shame in it. You can go and get another job. You know, a blue-collar job, whether that's blue-collar job, an office job, whatever you went to school. That's why you got a major. You're a student athlete. And I get it. You've got dreams to go pro. But unfortunately, I don't think going in an NFL roster and be like, you knowing what? I have another year of college eligibility. I'm going to try and go back. Like, no, man. Like, that is not the way to go about this. That just is not the way to go about this. Like, I get it. You've got big dreams. Unfortunately, people's dreams sometimes don't work out. Like, that's the fact of the matter. People's dreams sometimes just don't work out. And, you know, you can admit that. That's why you got another degree along with you going to college to, you know, play football, play basketball, do X, Y, Z. You know, you had a major focus, whether that's business, whether that's journalism, whether that's engineering. That's why you have that degree to fall back on. Now, I get it. There's, you know, depending on how long you're in the sport and this and that, I'm sure there's a slight pay difference. But, hey, you could say you played at a prestigious university. Is that not an accomplishment enough? Is that not an accomplishment enough? Like, do we really need to be, you know, trying to make an NFL roster? Okay, I'm going back to school. Like, no, like if you were on an NFL roster, if you appeared on an NFL roster, if you signed an NFL contract, that's just not the way. That's just not the way to go about it. And I'm glad the SEC did this across all sports. I'm sure the Big Ten and some other conferences will follow suit as well. But again, a good day for college football, and they've got more issues, more issues to fix. And then Hopefully they do, whether that's the transfer portal, whether that's college eligibility. They've got more issues to fix, and it's going to take a while to fix them because they've let this get so far. And, it's unfortunate that college has come to this, but it's a good day for college football and, the two big conferences in general, the Big Ten and the SEC, for passing these rules and banning players that have signed pro contracts, that have appeared on NFL rosters. It's just, it was the right thing to do. It was the smart thing to do. And it was the obvious thing to do because it's just, not right. You shouldn't be 24, 25 years old playing in college. Like, that's just, college is for between 18 and 23 year olds. That is what college sports are intended to be. You should not be in your mid 20s still trying to make it to the league and playing against 18, 19, 20-year-olds at this point. Like that, at some point you got to give it up, Unc. And I'm glad the SEC and Big Ten did this. But that is going to do it for this episode of 2822 Sports Night. I'm your host, Ricky Turner. I think we'll have Zach back tomorrow night as well. So everyone have a great night. We'll see if anything breaks overnight, but have a great night. And we'll see you tomorrow here on the CTV, the 2822 Now app here on 2822 Sports Night.